So let's start talking about the gross domestic product. Or GDP. Now GDP is basically defined as the total value of all final goods and services produced within the geographic boundaries of a country during a given accounting period and this accounting period usually tends to be a year, 1 year. So we have the GDP for different years 2017, 2018, 2016, so on and so forth. So it's an annual number and it is the total value. So as soon as you see this value, this should tell you that this value is usually going to be, if it is going to be something quantifiable, then this value is usually in terms of the currency of your country. And sometimes, if you look at the GDP of the different countries across the world, then the GDP is given in dollars because dollar is the hardest currency in the world, and that's why the GDP of other countries is also quoted in terms of the dollars, not just for USA but also for other countries. So it is the total, so the idea is that it is in the unit of a certain currency, right? So it's the total value of all final goods and services. So this word final is very important. As we move forward, you will see why it is important. The final goods and services produced within the geographic boundaries. So now that is the next important part. So we are not considering any goods or services that were not produced on the soil of your country. Anything that was produced outside and came into your country is not a part of your GDP. So that means, please note, we are not really talking about the goods that are sold in your country, but we are talking about the goods that are produced in your country. And during a given accounting period, that means we are not worried about goods that were produced in a previous year or the goods that will be produced in a later year. We are just concentrating on the goods that are produced during the current accounting period. That is the definition of GDP. Now, to understand this GDP, to understand this concept and where we are getting this GDP from, how it is really calculated or computed for a country, we use a model which is called the 4-sector circular flow model. So this model helps us to understand the accounting of GDP or the accounting of the gross domestic product of a country. So next we are going to talk about the 4-sector circular flow model, and we will see how gross domestic product gets accounted in a country.